This episode was brought to you by the number 42. Hello everybody, welcome back. My name is John Fillmore and welcome to another episode of the Pokemon Analyst. I am ready to get back into it this week, and this week we're actually going to be doing some new stuff, right? Well, I guess we always do new stuff, but like last week we were working on our Sandstorm team, right? Which is this guy, right? You know, we had some fun, and we put some things together, we threw some things away, and eventually we came with this team, and of course it's probably not complete. You know, there's still some things that I could probably nitpick out of there, but that really just, you know, that really just takes some time, and it's always, you know, good if you really can't see anything about your team where you're like, you know what, I should probably just change this, but I don't know what or how, then, you know, just kind of leave it be for, I don't know, a week or something, and then, or maybe not even a week, like a day, or two, and then just come back and be like, all right, yeah, I could change that, and you know, you get a little bit more of a fresh mind, right? So that's my 2 cents on that matter. But anyway, not the point right now. The point today is that we're going to be starting a new team. Yes, another new team, and this one's going to be about Sunlight. Right now, I'm going to be, hopefully before the summer ends, I want to actually get through all the weather condition teams. We did Sandstorm. Now we're going to be doing Sunlight, right? So this is the team that we have at the moment, right? Actually, let's change that. None. There we go. Okay, so this is the team that we have at the moment. As you can see, you know, there's a couple of things here that I probably need to explain, and of course I will get to that. But the first thing is first, let's actually see what Sunlight actually does. So let's pull up Cerebi. Now, Sunshine. Sunny Day is the more common weather effect, primarily used for fire and grass types, right? It's important to know that it's mostly used for fire and grass, but there are a couple of other Pokemon that can use it as well. Anyway, there's pretty much two ways that you can activate Sunlight, right? That's with the move Sunny Day, that's TM11, or you can use the Drought ability. Now, there are 4 Pokemon that actually know Drought. That's Groudon, Vulpix, Ninetales, and Charizard Y, right? Mega Charizard Y. Those are the only 4 in the entire game that actually have the Drought ability. And what does Drought do? Well, it summons strong Sunlight. Not harsh Sunlight, because that's something different, but it summons Sunlight on the turn that they that your Drought user thing enters the battle, right? So you know, it's a pretty easy way of setting up, especially with a Ninetales. You just send it out there, automatic Sunlight, and especially if it's your first turn, then, you know, you already have the Sunlight and you are ready to go. Now, the effects of Sunshine. Fire type's base power is increased by 50%, right? Any fire type moves. Any water type moves' base power is decreased by 50%. So it's really used for a lot of fire types. It's very good. Because the fire types now have an increase in their fire type moves, right? But they also have a bit of protection because, you know, water is one of their greatest weaknesses, and their, you know, water moves are decreased by 50%, their power. So that's it's a nice two-way you know, attack and defense change, right? So Solar Beam does not require charging, very handy, especially for grass types. Thunder's accuracy is reduced by 50%, Hurricane's accuracy is reduced by 50%. That's pretty good, because if I'm correct, Thunder and Hurricane actually have like 80% accuracy, and if, you know, Sunlight activates, then it's not impossible, but very difficult to actually hit you with Thunder or Hurricane, right? So that is quite handy if you're facing an electric or you know, a thunderous Tornadus. They usually like to have hurricanes. Synthesis, Morning Sun, and Moonlight recover 60% of the user's HP. Very handy if you have something that uses Synthesis or Morning Light a lot, or even Moonlight. Something like an Umbreon, or I don't know, Volcarona for your Morning Sun, or Synthesis for any grass types, then it actually can be very, very useful. Growth is raises the attack stat with an extra stage. Now, what is Growth? Growth is a move that I don't really use, and I haven't really seen it used all that much. It's a normal type, and it raises your attack and special attack stats in one go, which is pretty good, actually. Good for a mixed attacker. Now, with growth, now in Sunlight, your attack now gets raised by an extra stage. So it raises your attack by 2 stages and your special attack by 1 stage, right? So that can actually be quite good for setting up. A quick setup, and then you can just, you know, hit the road with whatever you have. Now, the Pokemon with Chlorophyll ability have their speed raised. Now, you need to be careful with that, because I didn't know this before, and I'm pretty sure a lot of people knew this before, and now they're probably going to do a facepalm and smack their screens because of how much of an idiot I am, but not the point. Chlorophyll raises your speed by... Actually, no, raises your speed by 2 stages. However, that only goes into effect next turn, right? Because before you have your turn, right, or any turn, to be quite honest, speed is already calculated, right? So if you have an effect on your speed, that only happens, or that only, you know, takes effect next turn, right? So electric types that use Thunder Wave have, you know, your opponent now has its speed reduced, but that happens next turn. Tailwind affects your Pokemon next turn. Chlorophyll activates next turn, right? Because the speed is already calculated before anything else, right? So, and I'm pretty sure a lot of people knew that. You just need to be careful on, you know, what kind of effect it has. Now, Dry Skin ability receives double damage from fire type attacks and loses HP each turn. Cherrim's Flower gift ability, blah blah blah. Pokemon with Leaf Guard ability are protected by status afflictions. That's not bad. Pokemon with Solar Power have their special attack raised, but have their HP lowered each turn, I'm pretty sure. Cast Form is transformed to a Fire type, and Cast Form's Weather Ball is doubled and becomes a Fire type, right? Now, there is a difference between Harsh Sunlight and Sunlight. The only problem with Harsh Sunlight is that you can only send it out with Primal Groudon, right? With Desolate Land ability, right? And VGC, which is what I usually work with, you can't have Primal Groudon or just Groudon in general, so you can't have that, unfortunately. So, but that's just a side note. Anyway, so this is, again, what my team looks like. And you can see from the bat, I already have a Mega Charizard Y, right? This is my go-to Sunsetter. Wow. You can see that in 2 ways. Not the point. It has the ability Drought. I have full into speed and special attack to make it a hard hitter, but also a fast hitter, right? And with a special attack of almost 160, that's impressive. And especially with Drought, it now increases the already stab and really powerful Heat Wave. So Heat Wave is just going to destroy anything. I put Ancient Power in there to take care of any of those flying types, and I'll get to that in a sec. And not to mention, you know, you have 10% chance of raising all your stats by 1, except for accuracy and evasiveness. And then you have your Solar Beam, which is quite good, because with the already high special attack, 120 power, it is a special attack. It is also, usually it's a 2-turn move, but with Drought it now becomes a 1-turn move. And since it's already quite fast, you can take care of any of those rock types or something that are scurrying along the ground, right? Now, its partner is Venusaur, and you might be thinking, it's a Charizard Venusaur setup. Yes, it is meta, but you know what? It works, right? Now, this one does have Chlorophyll, right? So what you can do is send out the Charizard, send out the Venusaur, Mega Evolve the first turn and use Protect, right? Or, you know, attack, that's fine too. While this guy protects, right? And then next turn, this guy is fast as, you know, anything, and you can hit with Giga Drain, Sludge Bomb. I have the Synthesis in there just for a little bit more of health gain, and the leftovers just to be as, you know, really a sap tank as possible. You know, hits very well. I mean, it's not, I guess, not the greatest defense that I've ever seen, but it can take a hit, and then it can just heal back with Giga Drain, Synthesis, and leftovers. Now, next Pokemon, Superior. Now, why Superior? You already have a Grass type. And the thing is, that, Sunlight is very good with grass, but also with fire types, right? Now, I already have my fire type. Actually, I have 2 of them, which I'll get to in a sec. But the Superior is there as my another grass type, and also kind of as a fast hitter. Yes, it is a setup sweeper because I need the contrary in order to make it work. Its special attack isn't that great, and neither is its attack. But the real clincher comes with the contrary. You give it a Leaf Storm. Now, Leaf Storm, it lowers the user's HP, what am I talking about? Special attack by 2 stages. It is a very powerful attack, but it lowers it by 2 normally. However, with contrary, it now raises its special attack by 2 stages, right? So every time you use Leaf Storm, which is pretty much all you do, you just spam Leaf Storm, then it just becomes, more powerful. And you can just start to sweep your opponent like no one's business, right? I gave it the Miracle Seed to give Leaf Storm just a bit more kick. It gives it 20% boost in power. I have the Dragon Pulse just as a good dragon attack. Safeguard. I wanted to actually have Aromatherapy, and Aromatherapy, here we go, cures the user's party of all status conditions. However, you can only have Aromatherapy on a Superior in black and white. Or black and white too, that's fine too. But, it doesn't work anymore in X and Y, right? It was taken out, which is a little bit of a, it's a little bit of a downer, but oh well. Next best thing is just Safeguard, right? And since it's fast anyway, should be fine. And then, of course, Protect. Now, I gave it full into Speed to be as speedy as possible, and as much as possible into Special Attack, lowering its attack because I'm not going to use it anyway. And that's kind of what I have. Now, let's get back to the Charizard here. I have this Ancient Power. Now, why the Ancient Power? Well, first of all, it's a special attack, so it's going to do some damage, right? And second of all, I have 2 of these grass types in there, right? Now, the Ice type I can work with because of the Charizard, right? And most Ice types are shot by a Water type anyway, so it can take care of these, right? Now, this guy is a little bit weak to Psychic, but oh well, that's just a thing. But both of them are weak to Flying, and that's why I have the Ancient Power for the Rock type to take any of those Flying type attacks and just, kill them as soon as possible. And since it's a Flying type, I'm pretty sure, don't quote me on it, but I'm pretty sure that it's also not very affected by any Fly type attacks, right? So, in that way, they kind of build off of each other very well. Now, next one, Mamoswine. Now, I don't use Mamoswine all that much, and to be quite honest, I don't like its design all that much either. However, it is an interesting Pokemon. Its defense and special defense are mediocre, right? However, with the Thick Fat ability, any fire or ice moves that actually hit it are halved in damage, or at least the damage that I take from any fire or ice type moves is halved, right? Now, that's good because this guy is also an ice type, right? So it's it's weak against fire types, right? It is also a ground, so you got the Stab, Icicle Crash, and Earthquake, which is nice. However, it's still weak to fire, and since it's quite slow, it's always good to have Thick Fat on there in order to make sure that, it doesn't take a hit from the fire side. And since it's an ice and a ground, it has neutral damage to any ice types, so it's good just to put the Thick Fat in there just to give it a little bit more resistance. Let's see, what else? Oh yeah, so it's a very hard-hitting attacker, right? It's not really used for much anything else. It's a bulky physical sweeper in a sense. It's not fast at all, but I gave it full in its attack, including nature, and then the rest I kind of just dumped into HP to make it as bulky as possible, with 4 into defense. I could put it in special defense, but it's not really going to do much in that anyway, so best to just put it into defense. So I have the Icicle Crash, Earthquake, and Rock Slide. A good ice type in there. It is a physical attack with 85 power, so that's pretty good. Also, it gets the Stab, 90 accuracy, so that's a little lacking, but oh well. it could be worse, right? Then, of course, you have the Earthquake, which is stab, 100 power, 100% accuracy. It's just a good move to have in there. And the Rock Slide, you can also go for a Stealth Rock, but I want to put the Rock Slide in there just in case, you know, I meet a Talonflame or something like that, right? Now, Sharpedo. Now, I'm not quite sure about this one, and I'm going to probably change it, right? But what I needed to have is a physical water type. Now, first of all, why a physical? Well, quite easy to see. If you excuse Arcanine for a sec, then you'll have the, you know, the special sweeper, the special, I guess it can be a special sweeper in a way because of chlorophyll. Another special sweeper. This is the only physical sweeper, right? So I need, well, this is another physical sweeper, but I need more bulk, right? And this one has no bulk. This one doesn't either. This one, a little bit, I suppose. This is really the one with the most bulk. So I need something with a physical bulk. Now you would probably say, okay, then just go for, you know, a steel type. But I went to Team Magma Builder, and, you know, I just need a good water type in there, right? Because I have 2 grass. Well, they're weak to, you know, to fire types. And this Mamoswine is going to take some beatings from a fire type as well. Yes, it does have thick fat, but even so, only Arcanine and Charizard are really, you know, neutral or resistant even to fire types. But I need the water type in there, right? Now, one of the better physical water types I found was this Sharpedo. However, again, it's a physical sweeper, and that's not what I need, right? So I need to change this because the defense and special defense are just lacking. It's just, you know, terrible. You know, you can't really do much with its defense like that, right? And I can't use any water types either, so that gets even more tricky because otherwise, you know, with the sunlight, you know, the water's not going to really do much anyway. So yeah, fun. But I have the Crunch, the Poison Jab, the Torment, and the Protect with the Speed Boost ability and the Life Orb, right? Just be a hard hitter, fast. Should I Baton Pass? I could. Could I actually Baton Pass with this guy? I can't Baton Pass. All right. So really, for me, this guy's probably going to be changed. Not in this episode. Probably in the next. I'll probably find something and be like, oh yeah, that's much better. So then you have the Arcanine, right? Another fire type attack. It is a mixed attacker, right? So it kind of bounces these guys out. I am going to give it the Rocky Helmet. Pretty much just the same one as we had in our Gardevoir team, right? So that's kind of what my team looks like. Yes, it still requires a little bit of changing, but you know, this is kind of what it's going to be. What it's going to be like. We are not going to be doing Man Alive. We are not going to be doing any battles this, you know, this day. Man, I can't speak. Then again, I can never speak. Let's be honest, I can never speak. I lack the social skills to speakish. I can't speak English. Not the point. So this is what we're going to be doing. You know, this is the team that we have. And hopefully we can win some battles with it. Hopefully you learn something. Hopefully I learn something. It's just going to be fun. It's going to be a good week. And we're just going to go from there, right? But anyway, I'm going to leave this episode here. So thank you all so much for watching. If you liked it, then please like, subscribe, comment. Questions, critique are always highly appreciated. You know, as long as it's friendly, of course. Sharing the video with, you know, one of your friends that's also into Pokemon would also be quite... you know, quite appreciated. Again, not necessary, not needed, but, you know, if you want to do that, I would really appreciate it if you did. But anyway, that's all I have for today. So this is John Fillmore signing off and wishing everyone on the opposite side of the screen a very pleasant day. Goodbye!